party down, highway circling round.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to talk to you about something that's in the news. It's political, I'm sorry. But I don't know if you probably know among, my many videos that there's some that are political, okay? And they're political because I'm anti-Nazi. And I didn't think we'd reach the time where that was like something I had to clarify. Because like a lot of the people I grew up with in Connecticut are fucking Nazis. So like they become my friends and then they like put Nazi shit on there and I'm like, no dude, I'm not a Nazi, I'm anti-Nazi. Fuck you, get away. So I've had to clarify my position. Because years ago it'd be like, yeah, I'm not a Nazi. Be like, no duh. Now you have to be like, yeah, I'm not a Nazi. I don't mind people from different backgrounds. I'm a musician. I have a record collection that spans the globe, and it's wonderful. And the music is incredible, and the people are incredible because people are incredible. Even though we're terrible as a race of people, the human race. Individually, we are collectively wonderful. So go figure. I don't know. I'm only human. So anyway, I wanted to talk about this Tea Party letter that I wrote about the Tea Party in 2010. Okay, 2010 we called it back then, and then we just shortened it the next year to 2010, 2011, 2012. But back then we were like 2010. It's like dumb. We learned, but some people didn't learn. So this is a letter I wrote when the Tea Party started rearing its ugly, stupid head. When it did, in 2010, we were led to believe that the Tea Party was an organization of people from all different backgrounds and all different beliefs, and Democrats and Republicans, and just people who are fed up with Washington, and we're just, a coalition. It's a rainbow coalition, and it's like bullshit. We know now, and I kind of had the idea back then, that this was nothing more than the Know-Nothing Party, the Klan, and all that shit. And so far, I think a lot more people have caught on to that fact. But anyway, I just wanted to read this, and I'm not tooting my own horn, because I wouldn't be filming that. But this is mostly just me talking about my feelings at the time, which, when you look back, kind of interesting, especially what's going on now politically. So, the name of this article the name of this letter, or maybe this was, I did write for the paper for a while, so I don't know if this was an article or a letter that I wrote. I think it's a letter. No doubt Tea Partiers are far right. Because at the time, people were like, no, it's people from all over, all walks of life, and Eskimos. And it's like the people on the bus and the Janine Garofalo talked about in the movie Speed. Yeah, it's everybody, it's this person. Nope. We know, in the April 9th edition of Lakes Region Weekly, there was a column by a local Tea Party organizer, and I just wanted to remind people of a couple things about the Tea Party movement. As we contemplate the 15th anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing, which killed 168 men, women, and children, I think we need to understand the Tea Party movement and its origins. Many of the same issues that Timothy McVeigh was ranting about before he killed those innocent people are exactly the kind of things you might find openly discussed on a Tea Party website. The Tea Party is not a political party. They seek to influence the Republican Party to embrace and tolerate extreme views, all under the banner of patriotism. Among those views is that the federal government needs to be abolished. Until that goal is reached, Tea Partiers vow to either desecrate the American flag by soaking it in tea or flying it upside down. Many of them have replaced their American flags altogether and have chosen to fly the Don't Tread on Me flag instead. Ironic choice, given the fact that Tea Party and like-minded individuals seek to limit the freedoms which make this country great. Why did they disrupt town halls and other gatherings, and why are they so angry? It's not because of the health care bill or taxes. It's because of their far right. Their far right agenda has not been taken up in Washington. There are a few misconceptions that we need to make clear. The Tea Party was touted as a grassroots organization made up of people from all walks of life who are unhappy at the way things are going in Washington. The movement, they said, was composed of Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, Greens, blacks, white, yellow, and red, all standing up to take on Washington. We now know that this was a lie. The Rainbow Coalition, this is not. This is an ultra-conservative movement who seeks to hijack the Republican Party and drive it so far to the right that electoral victory for the Republican Party will be nearly impossible. The attacks from the Tea Party on the most popular Republican politicians in Maine since Margaret Chase Smith are unprecedented. Senators Snowe and Collins have maintained wide support across the board and have served Maine well. Where is the Republican outrage about the attempts to hijack the party? We will see if the party circles the wagons in November or if they have a far-right litmus test for candidates. If they do adopt Tea Party ideas outlawing homosexuality and abortion, telling voters that we are in the end times, abolishing the federal government, and declaring that the planet Earth is just 6,000 years old are going to be ideas that mainstream America will reject. And that's it. That's what I wrote back in 2010. I was very concerned about this whole thing, and I'd been following it since the Timothy McVeigh situation and the sort of militia movement and the like. So this time period of 2010 was the beginning where the GOP was like, hey, come on into our tent. We have a big tent. Come on in. And so they brought him in, and of course those people fucking destroyed the tent. And that, like, reading that now, I haven't read that since I wrote it or since I put it on my wall here, this yellowed local newspaper letter that I wrote. I mean, they hijacked the party. That party, it used to be, the GOP during the Bush thing was, the pearl necklaces and the golf outings and the, the $1,000 a plate dinners and things like that. Now it's like, fucking just bananas. It's like the Manson family, like death threats and fucking, just unbelievable. We used to have a political discussion was like, oh, I think maybe they should, tax the wealthy more. Well, no, if you tax the wealthy more, they're creating the jobs. They need to have free reign to be able to create the jobs. No, now it's like, I think you should tax the rich more. I'm going to kill you and your dog. It's like, what? How did we get there? How did we get to this fucking point? These people are nuts. It was like you could at least talk to the pearl necklace lady and, those type of Republicans and be like, well, I politely disagree with you. And I think, we should do things this way. And, well, I think we should do that. Okay, that's fine. We're going to agree to disagree now. Now you can't agree to disagree. You get a death threat. They're like going after you, going after your kids, going after your dog, going to have, going after your job, going after everything now. That's the way they are. These people are fucking nuts. And the Republican Party, is starting to go, well, geez, it's almost, to me, it's like, say like a hornet's nest, like if a hornet's nest let in these little creatures that maybe cleaned up the waste or something, or I don't know, and the workers just let them come in. And then they fucking ate all the larvae, they ate the queen, and they destroyed the nest from the inside. That's what this far-right Tea Party, Patriot, Freedom Caucus people are doing to that party. They never intended to make things run. Their whole thing, the whole time, is we're anti-government. Anti-government. Okay, so now you're in government, and you're anti-government. What do you think's going to fucking happen? This is what happened. Kevin McCarthy's gone. Bye-bye. Because, he was working with the Democrats. You know, okay, well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to work things out, right, between you. Or is it going to be death threats? Like, I'm going to kill you and your dog and invade your house and kill your husband. And that's what they fucking do. That's just like the Manson family. You know, I don't know what the difference between the Manson family and this Freedom Caucus type people are. They're very similar. I mean, they all want race wars, right? And they're all anti-Semitic or anti-globalists. You know, we know what that means. You know, you don't have to, like, you know, say it anymore. Just come out and fucking say it. You're cowards anyway. So I can imagine that you wouldn't say it. But your coded language is dumb. And your cartoonish fucking comic book ideas are ridiculous. So this is where they find themselves. The GOP is a party that is going to have a lot of trouble winning, and you know, maybe that's a good thing for democracy, because the party is getting driven off the cliff like Thelma and Louise. There's a reference to a movie that came out in like 1989 or something. I don't know. I never saw it, but I just remember it was like two women just driving off a cliff, and I'm like, well, that's not good. They're driving off a cliff. I don't know. What happens? Is there a sequel? There was no sequel to Thelma and Louise, by the way, because they died, you know. And, okay, they made a point, and I don't know what the point was, but it's not my place to say. But it is my place to say that this was, these thoughts that I had back in 2010, you know, will the GOP circle the wagons? Well, apparently they didn't. They said, we have a big tent, come on in. We have a big tent, come on in, come on in. And then they proceeded to destroy the tent. And then they were like, wow, what are we going to do now? Nothing. You fucked up. You let them hijack your party. And I kept saying they're hijacking the party and they're going to drive it into the ground, and they did. And again, what do you say to someone, to people like that? You're like, you believe in conspiracy theories that are just completely nuts. You let the, you know, anti-Semitic, and you let the bigoted people in there, homophobic fucking assholes are on the floor of you know, making speeches about you know, it's like, hey, hi, people are that way. People can do whatever they want. If you're in a Freedom Caucus, it's ironically named since you want to limit the freedom, and I said that back then. You want to limit people's freedoms to be who they are, and you want to call yourself the Freedom Party. That's nice.